Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to Hard to Find 4, the New Order Last Year's Europe as the Far Eastern Soviet Republic. In the last video, we started going down our political tree a little bit more. We've just about finished up a good amount of all this. So we got to figure out what we're doing from here. This is going to remove the administrative strain, which hopefully is going to give us some more production units. Hopefully get us back to this level. I'd also like to address something that I didn't fully realize. I had a commenter, and he was trying to help, so I don't want to give him too much shit. But he was telling me to build more civilian factories to boost my GDP, which he has a point. My debt to GDP level is not good at all. The problem with that statement is that I cannot build civilian factories at all. So if you're wondering why I couldn't do it, it's because I couldn't. I'm struggling out here. I literally am unable to do any of that. What I can do... We're finishing up the all that stuff up there. A lot of the stuff is just going to get us more debt. I'm going to do the Udanchnaya excavation. Give us some more miscellaneous revenue, as well as some railways and some infrastructure, and extra pop, and GDP, and development improvements, as well as the Mir excavation. That'll give us some money in the long run. That's really all I can really do right now, though. And I'm doing some research on this side. I'll get working on this, get our guns nice and going. But yeah, Happy New Year to you all. I apologize I haven't been recording much. I've been working a lot of these past days. Other than that, I'm going down to theater. So I'm busy afternoons. I mean, Far East is really fucking barren, isn't it? It really is, honestly. When Fisherman came back, his castle had turned back into a hut. The end. Fyodor Oblonsky closed the book, looking up, and Mr. Chernyshevsky, the teacher of a Anshukin village's adult literacy class. You're doing great, Fyodor. You're reading much faster this week. I'll see you tomorrow. Class is dismissed. Fyodor put the book into his backpack and headed out of the room of the church basement, seeing his friend Yuri by the stairs. God, I don't know what Satlin's doing, Fedya, making us come here every evening. I have a farm, I have a wife, and 3 kids. You want to go to the bar? Fyodor shook his head and headed out the church door. Let him despair, Judy thought as he walked back home. He could spend his entire day away from his family and farm at the adult literacy class, but it would be all worth it if he could spend 10 minutes using what he learned at home. Little Vanya jumped in his father's arms as he saw him coming through the door. Vanya, would you like to read a story? Fyodor asked. Yes, Papa. Fyodor smiled as he sat himself and Vanya down at the kitchen table, taking a book out and beginning to read. Once upon a time, there lived a fisherman with his wife. Well, that's nice. I think I'm going to actually go via more Bukharinist route on this, because we really need some improvements on our academic base. I think we have jack shit when it comes to... We have basic literacy, which is okay, but we could do better. So we're going to centralize the education system. Not entirely Sablinite, but I think the benefits will outweigh everything. And the fish got ganged on by Tabarite. Hey, how big Tab. In order to secure an uplift in next generation was to ensure that our education system is top-notch. Hardliners of the party have proposed creating a new centralized education system composed of state-run schools that teach from state-supported curricula. Such a system would have a number of potential benefits. Students will learn what we prioritize, and long-term destabilizing effects of a diffuse education system would likely be avoided. This, however, would surely be a controversial choice for many nationalites and regions who are used to having a measure of autonomy. It's good when there's 2 schools in a lot of these areas, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to go with that. And then our debt is just kind of screwing us a little bit. But not too much I can do there. We have a Zolvarin. Total world GDP is coming along. Oh! Okay, well that's Samara. Alright, these guys went with Spear, right? Debt is but a number. True. Very true. We have the Armenian Revolt. See, our repopulation program has been reduced on a limited scale. Currently, incentive consists of political and financial incentives, as well as state recognition of parents that raise several healthy children. Put together, our efforts are believed to increase birth rates by 7.5%. Economists believe that if we see more results from this, we'll need to restrict women's ability to be active in the workforce. They're already active enough. Oh, the Great Russian Color Gradient. True. Samar unifies West Siberia. Interesting. Certainly interesting. I'm drinking some chocolate milk today on stream. I like it. I like me some chocolate milk. Shout out chocolate milk and all the brown cows that make them. Land reform programs might be the best play from here. But for now, we're going to go ahead and do Prolet Cult. All workers deserve bread, but they deserve roses too. In the early days of the October Revolution, the new institution of Prolet Cult took hold. With state support, new art styles and cultural groups sprung up like mushrooms after the rain, giving workers access to creative outlets previously undreamt of. We should revive this program, both as a way to expand our ideology and to boost morale across the nation. State funding resources will be given to artists in the cities, to poets in the countryside, to factory-based theater groups, and to many others besides. The glorification of a worker is our highest calling, and who better to make such glorious accomplishments than the workers themselves? I just remembered something. I was hanging out with some friends New Year's, and there's a guy who I went to high school with, I haven't seen in a while. And he's a nice guy. I've always liked him. He used to be more on the conservative side of things, which I'm not surprised about, because where I live, we call Calabama. Because it's a very, very red, very rural part of California. What is this? Fiscal crisis imminent. Oh, well, fuck off. Reminds me of what would you do the anarchist commune meme. Lol. But this guy, I was talking to him recently, and he was telling me that, he's had a bit of a political evolution. He went from a kind of a Trumpy guy to, he says, I think roughly in his words, he's basically a Green Party member, or a member of the Green Party. I think it's hilarious how it evolved out like that. I think that's funny as heck. Just seeing how he went from a Trumpy guy to a non-Trumpy guy. The opposite of a Trumpy guy, even. But that was funny to me, personally. This fiscal crisis is a little scary, I'm not going to lie. See, the first Reformed Party Congress. There we go. The All-Union Communist Party, of VKPB, governs as supreme over a vast stretch of territory. Our triumph is clear, but our paths remain murky, however strong our ideals may be. Two primary factions exist within the party. There are Bukharinites, led by people such as Markiv and Brown. There are the nascent Sablonites, backed by people such as Pechuro and Ulanovskaya. They agree on much, but each faction has an approach to governing that the other cannot tolerate. While Sablonites support the ideals that our new revolution was founded upon, the Bukharinites may know what it takes to keep the Union alive. Therefore, to resolve these differences, we must call for a party congress. We compose of delegates from Soviets from across the nation, along with at-large representatives of the party. There, the nation and its leaders will decide upon the direction that it will take on the road to liberation. That one website, regardless, what you give the result of self-sustaining farm. Oh! I didn't realize that there was a website that did that? Wow. That's funny. That's kind of... I think that's funny, personally, at least. Let's escalate land reform programs. Also, Kev, could you do me a favor, my friend? Could you look up the TNO economy cheats? Because I'm gonna need to reduce some debt right about now. I'm not gonna boost my GDP. I can do that on my own, but I need to cut down on this debt. If you could find that and send it to me, I'd appreciate it. Armenia's lost to Turkey. That was what it said it was, right? God, we don't have much real growth at all. Raising this actually saves us on GDP. It's just rough playing out in the East. It really is. I mean, I know it's supposed to be. But even with all that in mind. Ooh, okay, so I'm gonna set var national debt. So I try that. Did that? I don't know if it actually did anything. No? That didn't do anything. Shit. Oh, that did it. There we go. Guess I had too many zeros. Pachuro. I remember the October Revolution. This isn't oh, it's Brown. This isn't upholding its ideals. It's mere naivete. Brown, it worked in 1917. It can work here. This isn't 1917. We need centralized organizations if we want to see prosperity. Someone opened the door to the conference room. He found the Central Committee in a state of shambles. Each committee member was shouting at each other at the top of their lungs, looking haggard and worn out from argument. Comrades, no need to turn this into a shouting match. We are politicians, not children in a primary school. Not that we have primary schools at this point, but still. Now, can you please tell me what's going on here? Excuse us, Comrade Savlin. However, dispute arose over the extent of the role workers' Soviets should play in legislation. It's a shame so many of this committee are overly idealistic, but I think we can agree on giving you the final say on these things, comrade. The rest of the room not in agreement. Excellent. We must all make tough decisions in these difficult times, but nevertheless, I think the obvious answer is that we must stick to the ideals that built this nation. Here we go. So this is all for our army. I think we really need to improve our army stuff, I think. So, although our economy obviously needs help. Let's start on defending the revolution. We don't exactly have the strongest army out of there. out there. Forces made up of groups of militias and partisan bands. We aren't an organized professional force by any means, but this is not an excuse for poor performance. For a group of irregulars, we'll be the best group of irregulars you'll find in this country. We will train hard on all types of terrain. We'll have the best equipment and as many men as we can muster. And we'll be backed up by high morale and commissars to tell them what they are fighting for. There we go. I want to check real quick. We still have less GDP production units than we did last time. I'm going to set these to factory workshops right now. That's kind of our best bet. Early fighters. I'll get early cast going as well. I think we need anti-air as well. Anti-air and motorized. Okay, shit. I'll get working on the prototype anti-air. Another... Oh! I said that to Dentrillion, not... Okay, there we go. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Got automatic support weapons going for us. Yeah, the germs march east. Get some new doctrines. Let's go ahead and get artillery barrage going. Research slot. We'll get some industry. Let's get industry management going. Wales unifies with England. There we go. That's, yeah, it's that lady, right? Let's prepare the factories. In the midst of a chaos as engulfed Russia, we've struggled to produce enough weapons to properly arm our military. At times, it seems as if we had more partisans than guns. In order to prevent this from ever occurring again, we'll have to make further investments to our arms factories. Also, soldiers will have to be sufficiently supplied. After all, fighting an enemy with twice as many men as rifles would be madness. What's changed, Lamar? Yeah. Well, okay, school-wise. I think we need poverty rate relief programs. We really need that. Sabin stared with disbelief as the 44th Battalion struggled his way through their drills. His time as a military officer was brief, but never before had he seen such undisciplined rabble. Many soldiers straggled behind the obstacle course, creating jams or simply collapsing out of exhaustion. Perhaps the leader in the past, and indeed many in the present, would brutalize these men in formation, beating and tormenting them until he acted like the perfect machine they wanted them to be. But Sablin was not that leader. He walked up to the commander of the battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Novikov, who saluted him as passed by. "No need for that, comrade. I just need to ask, what's wrong with this unit? I thought we meant to implement measures to improve the soldiers' discipline." Measures. You can't run if your boots are worn out. You can't shoot if you don't have guns. You can't train on what stuff you've got if they just keep wearing it out. You know what I'm saying, comrade? Sablin nodded as he made a mental note to visit the People's Commissar of Defense once inspection was done. What is the warp of idealism and scarcity? There we go. We'll eventually get an okay credit rating, I'm sure. I believe. Doesn't look like there's much we can do healthcare-wise. We could work on selling convoys. I want to check this out. We can intensify migration propaganda efforts. Yeah, I'm down for that. You know that you can get Jesus Christ in Hargeza of America and Kaiser Redux? I don't even know what that means, so I did not know that. Repair the factories. Let's discipline the men for now, and then I think we'll get working on our economy. The men that make up our army are daring and devoted, yet they lack the proficiency that will be required of them if they are to fight effectively. More drills will be required if they are to become the professional force they need to be. We are unlikely to ever be able to reach the levels of reliability that our warlords have achieved, nor could we ever hope to. But we can assure is a proper Red Army, one capable of defending the principles and the people of our revolution. Oh, Jesus Christ in charge. That type was so bad even I couldn't understand that. I know I get what you're trying to say now though, and I did not know that. Jesus, you could get Jesus? What? I know Kaiser Redux is wacky and funny, but that wacky and funny? I saw that as that went down, Kev. I felt it from here. Let's repurpose some Soviet infrastructure. Last two brain cells are fucking clinging on for deep. Here, goddamn life. Yeah. Well, our poverty rate is going down. It's very nice to see. How's our agricultural methods? She opened her groggy green eyes as she awoke from her slumber. Tired, she'd spent much of the previous afternoon hunting and had slept late. Reluctantly, she stretched herself awake. She'd seen some strange things in the last few days, but no noise was new. Walking out of a cave, she squinted at the sight of her late by call. She always hated the morning light, is why she slept so late, at least when she was disturbed by loud noises. Yet, as her eyes adjusted to the light, what she saw confused her. The dam on the lake seemed bigger. Boxes and machinery had been moved in front of her cave, and the boots of the human marched around like they owned the place. Boom! Loud commotion startled the mantle, causing her to sprint out in commotion. Turning around, she saw her former home destroyed as the roof collapsed in from the explosives of a construction crew. At the same time, confused workers looked at the isolated Manuel, now left vulnerable out in the open. Frightened, she ran east through the camp. She weaved through the machinery and boxes around her now unfamiliar surroundings. Recognizing a stretch of wood, she stopped as she analyzed the best way through the remaining construction. However, contemplation was short-lived. It was a shot of a missed shot. Sorry, I just got a spam text that confused me. Terrified, the man bolted forward, leaping out of the camp and into the comparative safety of the wild. She continued running until she could hear the men and see the construction no more. Relieved at her safety, she collapsed on the ground, rolling in the dirt, screeching. Yet, her relief was short-lived as she realized the circumstances of her situation. A new home would need to be found all over again. What's a mantle to do? I do not know. What is a mantle to do? We also have foreign policy we could work on. Back on the world stage. I don't know. Let's work on economy. Socialism is an economic-minded science. It was born out of the idea that the solution must be found to so few having so much, while so many have so little. The transition to a state where everyone has what they have earned is our current goal. Keeping an eye on the economy and our progress is as important as anything else. Right now, we don't have enough military industry, people like housing, and we're nowhere near true socialism. It's time to get to work fixing this and other economic issues that plague our people. Well, there we go. I'll take a gander at that when the video ends, which is going to be coming up soon. Look at that. Well, my friends, thank you as always for watching. If you like this video, I need a stretch, sorry. If you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, hit the sub button for uploads weekdays, as well as Saturdays, occasionally. If you have any comments, feedback, concern, leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments again. Appreciate any all feedback you might have for me. If you want to chat or play games, I have a Discord. If you want to see me do stuff live, I have a Twitch. I have a second channel on Patreon as well if you want to check those out. All those are down in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. My name has been Mr. Dogbot333. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. This man knows his goddamn time. You know I do.